Okay, here's my back. We'll tackle it as much with the straights as we can at first. I'm going to square my center back neck, but then my shoulder has the dart there, so I'm going to let that sit for a moment. Square there. There's nothing in the way of this side seam, so I could draw it in. I need to lower it 1/2 of an inch just like I did on the front and increase the width 1/2 of an inch. And now we're going to draft in the rest of these darts. This waist dart will end up being 7 inches long, and I'm going to put the center of it right on a grain parallel to my center back. So the first thing I need to do is find the center. It should be 5/8 of an inch in there, which is right there, huh? Okay. And then so there's the center of that dart. I said I want it to be 7 inches long. So that's the vanishing point. That's where it'll sew to. So you can see that it's just below the armhole point there. So that's kind of looking at my cross marks to make sure that my dart legs are measuring the same length. They appear to be. I'm going to treat this as my apex of sorts and draw a line from this vanishing point to this mark of the shoulder dart, the leg closest to the neck, so as a way to orient the direction of this shoulder dart. You can see how it was pinned. It was going kind of like that. This will orient it a little more this way. And then 3 inches long. So 1, 2, 3. So it's ending before it gets to the shoulder blade level, which is appropriate. We don't want it to go all the way to the spot where it's accommodating some fullness. Now we have to measure this other dart leg, 3 inches. Might change just a little bit. Okay. Pin these guys together. The shoulder dart folding the intake towards the center. It's tiny. It took up a whole, this is like 3/8 of an inch. I think the textbook tells you to make it 1/2 of an inch, but you know, dress forms are different. So this dress form only wanted 3/8 of an inch. And I'll while I'm pinning, I'll pin my waist dart. Leg to leg, line to line. No more, no less. Okay. So, shoulder should be straight now. I said that the front was kind of convex, and so my hope was that the back might appear a little concave. It did a little, not as much as the front. So we'll just keep an eye on that when I pin it back together and put it on the dress form. Let me fill in this curve. So I'm going to this spot now for my back armhole. The back armhole is less scoopy curve than the front. Here's my front armhole. You see how it kind of scoops in. The back is like straighter with a shallower curve. And the waist. Again, it should be a little curved, and you know, it's not straight across. Just like the front, I will clean it up some. And now let's compare things like our sides. Oop, see? I'm different. I'm a good bit off there. If my bust matches there, then it's that. We'll have to take a look at that. That's a healthy 1/4 of an inch. For the moment, I'm going to split the difference on those guys and see. So I'm pinning line to line, just as it will be sewn. And I'm pinning perpendicular to my seam. And now I also want to pin my shoulder together. So let's see if we can work it around here. I'm going to give that one more. Pin right there. These tiny darts are difficult to pin in. I'm going to take the front over the back since the front has the, or the back has the dart there. line to line. Okay. Back to the dress form. Are you ready? Camera 3. So I'm securing it along the centers only. So I've got 3 pins there, 3 pins back here. And now we just want to evaluate the fit, the look. I need to see what's going on with my side seam not matching up. But if we look at the back, not bad. I'm gonna look here at my armhole for a moment. I think that's okay. Front armhole. Not bad. The waist. And what I want is for this waistline to look parallel to the floor. It could be that the tape isn't parallel on the dress form. So now that I've got the line drawn, I can evaluate it here. I think I'm raising up, that line is going up there, so we could level that out. Yeah, we're going to go to the lower mark for the armhole. And I want a notch on the front shoulder where it meets the back, but are we okay with this shoulder? It appears to be fitting okay. I'm going to check those lengths. when I put it to paper. Okay, so I just need to fix my waist and armholes a little bit. And I'm ready to put this to paper. I'll follow the same techniques I did with my skirt, where I'll push pin for the straight lines and use my tracing wheel for the curves. The last thing I'm seeing before I take it off that I could put in would be an armhole notch. If we wanted to drape in an armhole notch, mark it on the form here, I usually just imagine a straight line from the screw to the apex, and it would be along that line. It's usually like a third of the way from the armhole up. So right about there. Back armhole, you could do the same thing, sort of straight line there, double notch. Okay, cut.